It's set to be a three-day extravaganza with pageantry, street parties and a concert at Windsor Castle. But what role will Prince Harry and Meghan play in the coronation?
Well, a royal insider says it will be unlikely the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will appear on the Buckingham Palace balcony with the rest of the family. After making explosive claims about the royals, should the couple be involved in the family photo calls at all? We're joined by the broadcaster Ateh Jewel, who says, of course the couple should be there on the balcony, while royal commentator Claudia Joseph says, oh, no, they shouldn't. They're no longer working royals. Claudia Joseph, right, well, they're still working, aren't they? And they're still members of the family. Is it just because they're not working royals you don't think they should be there, or because of what he said in Spare and they told Oprah?
Well, I think if you look back to the Queen's Jubilee, they were not included at that stage on the balcony. It's very difficult for the royal family because they are an institution, they are the monarchy, and that is their job. Obviously, in the past, there have been times when perhaps the press have been too intrusive and there have been problems, but ultimately the job is to do good work and to keep quiet and not talk about their feelings and what's going on in public. And it's very difficult because every time Harry and Meghan open their mouths now, they say something critical of the institution. And if they're on the balcony, that will appear in the next book.
Ateh, that's right, isn't it? Back in the early 1950s, the king before George VI had abdicated, and when the Queen Elizabeth was being coronated in 1950 to 53, Churchill advised the former king not to attend because he would divert attention away from the Queen's coronation. Isn't that the same with Harry and Meghan now, that they would just divert attention away from what should be the King's coronation? I
think you just said it yourself. What we're talking about 1953, we're in 2023. It is a very different time. I think the royal family are an institution and a family, and both need to evolve and heal. I think if King Charles, who is also our king, and I do support the monarchy, he's also a father, he needs to put the in unconditional and put his hand out and be the person, the bigger person, the person who will have a gesture to help heal his family. I mean, what message does it send to the whole country that when you speak about your truth, when you speak about mental health, when you speak about toxic behaviour and racism, that it's met with silence, stonewalling and excommunication? They should be on the balcony.
We all hope, though, when at the Queen's funeral, and we had the pictures of William and Harry and Kate and Meghan, we all hoped that would be a moment of healing. Everybody desperately wants that. Well, I think most people desperately want that. And then what Harry then did in his book, there was no healing there.
Silence is not golden. In my family, I have so much empathy for Prince Harry and Meghan. In my family, I've been the one throwing truth bombs. I've been the one who has called out toxic behaviour, and I've been met with silence and stonewalling. And I really feel Prince Harry and Meghan, they want to be dealt with. That's where all this has come from. They've said very many times, they've had private conversations, they've tried, they've been met with what they have alleged as leaking and not getting anywhere. And I really believe these interviews are deal with me. And I think the coronation would be a perfect time to heal.
It's interesting, Ateh, you mentioned that they've talked about racism. Of course, Prince Harry, in his interviews, says that they never claimed that the royal family were racist.
They didn't say they were racist, but there was talk about how dark Archie would come out and these sort of microaggressions we can see from the where you really from, Lady Hussey, who is Prince William's godmother.
So do you think Prince Harry is wrong when he says we didn't accuse the royal family of racism? Do you think he actually, that was evidence of racism?
I think Prince Harry was being as respectful to his family as possible. I have been in that position as a Black British woman many times where people think they're being very nice to me. I've been asked if I feel more white because I'm so well educated, and that was someone who thought they were giving me a compliment. So what do you call that?
Yeah.
And
well,
so, yeah.
I mean, it's not for me to say, but Prince Harry certainly seemed to be rolling back from that. Claudia, you suggest that they should, you don't use the word, but it does sound like they should be punished by not appearing on the balcony because of the claims that they've made.
No, I don't think that's at all right. I don't think they should be punished. And I think that the king is in an invidious position. I think it's really sad. He adores his son. He got on very well with Meghan.
But he could get to the high ground, the king, by saying, look, you know, frankly, it's my son and my daughter-in-law. Just have them there.
I think we've got a real cultural barrier here in the sense that I don't think William and Charles understand what Harry's talking about. And I think that's part of the problem, that Harry has had some therapy. He's seeing things from a very different perspective to them. And I think they just don't understand him. And I think that's a huge problem that they...
Yeah, I think, do you know what? I think it's going to be just as huge a problem if they're not on the balcony as if they are. Thank you both very much indeed.